One of the biggest and probably one of the most fascinating animes to come out last year is none other than Jujutsu Kaisen. Between the world building, the characters, and the intricately crafted power system, there's just something about it that makes it stand out from a lot of the other shonen series out there. For us, it's one of the best animes to depict the supernatural within the mundane world. And we can really appreciate the way traditional Japanese lore and curses are incorporated so realistically into a modern day anime setting. It's quickly become a fan favorite of many anime fans, but aside from captivating us with its intriguing storyline, the series has also presented us with so many unanswered questions and mysterious mysteries to ponder. So today, we'll be looking at some more anime theories from the Jujutsu Kaisen series that actually make a lot of sense if you think about them. I'm Zayden McKellen, welcome to Cosplay-FTW, your #1 source for the latest lowdown on anime and manga news, updates, and analysis. Sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Before we jump in, fair warning, there will be spoilers for the anime and manga, so if you don't want to get spoiled, we'll give you a chance to exit out of the video and catch up. Ready? Let's dive in. Number 1. Yuji Itadori is a reincarnation of Sukuna's good side. This theory stems from the fact that in the traditional Japanese legend of Ryomen Sukuna, yeah, he's real, he is not just a four-handed spirit, but also one that literally has two faces. He's been depicted as an evil figure, but also sometimes a kindred spirit who has saved people in the past, showing that this mythological figure is much more complex than the anime leads us to believe. But if this is the case, why is he depicted as the most evil being in the anime? Is this a case of character defamation? Should Sukuna seek out legal counsel? Where's the kind side, and why is it never depicted? We may have found our answer in Yuji Itadori. While the evil side was sealed within the cursed fingers, the good side of Ryomen Sukuna was reincarnated, and the reincarnation is our boy Yuji Itadori. This theory explains why Yuji is somewhat able to suppress and contain Sukuna, and why he can take in the fingers without suffering any harm. Further, this may also explain why, even without the cursed fingers, Yuji boasts superhuman speed and strength. Number 2, Yuji has a memory-altering cursed technique. This theory stems from Yuji's brief battle and subsequent bromance with Aoi Todo, where after the battle and team-up, Aoi insists that Yuji and he had been best friends and brothers for years. The whole thing was played off as a gag, and for many viewers, the incident was brushed off as Todo's delusional and one-sided affection for Yuji. Perhaps even Todo's bad memory. Hey, brain farts happen to the best of us, but others took this particular incident more seriously. Because not only did this happen to Todo, but something similar has happened to Yuji's opponents. Not once, but twice. The latter occurring in the manga. Even Sukuna himself has stated that he doesn't know why that is. Well, there are two explanations for this theory. The first is that this may very well be Yuji's own cursed technique, and Yuji, being essentially a neophyte in cursed techniques and cursed energy, is activating his power unknowingly. Being unaware of his own ability, he hasn't been able to learn how to properly control and intentionally activate his power, so it haphazardly manifests on its own without Yuji knowing. The second explanation, and this one might make even more sense, is that his grandpa cursed Yuji to have this skill. If you recall, at the start of the series, before Yuji's grandfather passed away, he cryptically says something along the lines of this, that Yuji should use his strength to help others, so that he may be surrounded by others when he dies. Many speculate that this may have been how a curse was placed on Yuji himself. In this way, when he's in a near-death situation, much like his battle with Aoi and Chozo in the anime and manga respectively, the curse makes it so that Yuji's opponents feel like they've known him for a long time. They come to love him and lose their fighting spirit. This may or may not be the case, but the memory-altering incidents that seem to surround Yuji is something that we really want to find out about. And honestly, this would be an awesome and fitting ability for a big softie like Yuji to have. Number 3. Yuji Itadori is a cursed womb death painting. For us, this theory really stands in the middle ground of a good and a bad theory. To refresh your memory, we'll bring you up to speed about the death paintings. In Jujutsu Kaisen lore, somewhere along the line, an evil sorcerer by the name of Noritoshi Kamo conducted some research that led him to create the death paintings. These death paintings are half human and half cursed children. Though most of the information and history regarding this would be destroyed throughout time, the 9 specimens created through the experiment were preserved, with Tokyo Jujutsu High being able to store and seal away numbers 1 through 3. So, where are the other 6? This theory suggests that Yuji Itadori may in fact be one of these death paintings, and that one of the main reasons why the death paintings were created was to find a suitable vessel for none other than the King of Curses himself, Ryumen Sukuna. The theory would explain Yuji's superhuman speed and strength, and as well as why he can contain Sukuna within him. Number 4. Yuji's parents. Even though this theory is more or less debunked and or proven, depending on how you look at it, either way, we thought that it was still too interesting not to be listed here. And it does tie into a new development. We'll explain. No doubt there's been a lot of speculation as to just who Yuji's parents are. While Yuji thinks that his parents are of no real significance, okay, that sounds bad. While Yuji believes his parents are just everyday people, there might actually be more to them than meets the eye. As of chapter 143, we get a mere glimpse of Yuji's parents, and then we get a huge reveal in chapter 160. Many theorize that with Yuji being as extraordinary as he is, he just had to come from a lineage of Jujutsu sorcerers. Many fans also talked about how most likely it's just no one we know of yet. But now we do. If we take a look at Suguru Geto and how the brain Kenjaku took possession of his body, we see that he is left with the prominent stitches across his forehead. Interestingly enough, we see that in chapter 143, Yuji's mother has identical stitches, though hers are mostly healed over. Now this is suspicious, but it wasn't enough to fully confirm the correlation. That is, until the reveal that spreads shockwaves throughout the JJK fandom in chapter 160, when Geto talks to Sasaki, one of Yuji Itadori's friends from his former normal life, and thanks her for being friends with her son. And it comes as no surprise that the son being referenced is Yuji Itadori. We know that in the past, Kenjaku also took control of Noritoshi Kamo, the creator of the Cursed Womb death paintings, and sometime afterward went on to take over the body of the woman who would marry into Yuji's family and conceive Yuji. We know for sure now that Yuji's birth was no accident. This also suggests that in some messed up way, Choso and Yuji are related, stepbrothers of sorts. Now, this begs a few questions. Who was the woman who would become Yuji's mother before she came under the possession of the brain? With Kenjaku's track record, it seems to favor shamans or sorcerers of immense talent or skill, as Noritoshi and Geto both were. Perhaps this mysterious woman hailed from one of the powerful sorcerer bloodlines, namely the Zenins, Kamo, even the Gojo family. And if not, is there something to be said of the Itadori bloodline? We can go further to ask, was Yuji someone created specifically to contain Sukuna? And just how was it done? Why? And what are they really after? Not to mention, did Gojo himself know about Yuji from the start and keep that information to himself? The more questions answered, the more questions seem to crop up. Where will this rabbit hole end? But even still, we're all here for the ride. Number 5. Ryumen Sukuna's True Curse Techniques. Sukuna is known as the King of Curses, but what exactly does this title mean in a concrete sense? That is, what is his true power? We've seen him use a bunch of abilities that seem so much more than just having one curse technique. What we mean to say is that most people would have one unique curse technique, and in rare cases like Gojo, several. Sukuna seems to have a lot more than just one or two. Take for example, being able to use fire, which he used in the Shibuya arc against the curse born from fear of volcanoes. This led to speculation by many that maybe, just maybe, the reason why he and his power is so feared is that he can either copy abilities or absorb them and then use them as his own. Which would make absolute sense when you think about it. A man that is able to use any curse techniques would no doubt earn the title of King of Curses, and this would explain why he would very understandably be the most feared Jujutsu sorcerer ever, almost like the all-for-one of Jujutsu Kaisen. But anyway, it's an interesting theory to look into, and if this wasn't the case, then maybe he was just born with a curse technique of being able to use all curse techniques. Another offshoot of this theory, worth mentioning, is that the King of Curses is able to straight up steal curse techniques by both just analyzing the technique and re-engineering it himself, or that by eating other sorcerers, he's able to eat their core, absorb their curse techniques, and put it into his own arsenal. The latter would actually make some sense because it's been told time and time again that he eats people, and this would give him a valid reason as to keep doing so. And maybe this would in some way support the Yuji is a reincarnation of Sukuna theory. If both had the ability to consume a sorcerer and gain their abilities, it would make sense why Yuji can consume Sukuna's finger and gain his power too. Number 6. Magumi Fushigoro? One thing that this series has continued to show is how interested Sukuna is in Magumi Fushigoro, and it has come to the point where Sukuna, someone who is only concerned about his goals and himself, goes out of his way to make sure that Megumi is safe to a degree. But why? There's been a lot of speculation here and there, and a lot of theories have come out of it too. The first is that Megumi somehow and some way will be the true vessel for Sukuna, which would make sense somewhat, because why else would he take such care for someone other than himself? The second is that Sukuna isn't even interested in Megumi at all, but he is extremely interested in his technique. The 10 Shadows technique is no doubt a powerful ability after all, and it has even been noted that Shikigami made out of shadows are much more efficient. The Shikigami even have the passive ability wherein one that dies is able to pass down its abilities to another Shikigami, making the new one stronger. And with the appearance of the newest manifestation of the technique, the 8-handled sword Divergent Sila Divine General Maharaja, certainly a mouthful, in the most recent arc, and the sheer raw power it has, it comes as no surprise why Sukuna would be interested. Perhaps it's because he wants that power for his own, which connects us to the previous theory. Or maybe he'll somehow use it to summon more powerful curses. Either way, the mere suggestion of Sukuna being able to control something of that caliber is pretty terrifying and completely next level. And that, my friends, is our list of the most interesting Jujutsu Kaisen theories out there so far. The JJK fandom definitely has their thinking caps on and has come up with some really intriguing stuff to think about. If we missed any theories or maybe any points that disprove what we have here, why not tell us about it in the comments down below? And if you enjoyed the video, how about leaving a like? Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. It's a great deal of help and we really appreciate it. That's all for now, and we hope to see you in the next video.
Ad time.
This year's almost over, and I'm really glad that life is almost returning to normal. Cons are back, I can see my friends, do cosplays together, and go gift shopping for the holidays. But where will I get my cosplays and gifts? I wonder if Santa knows my size. Santa?
No! I'm Santa Cosplay Bear, and don't worry buddy, SCB has you covered. Just go to Cosplay-FTW.com, where you will find hundreds of cosplays, wigs, and props, and everything you need, whether you're a content creator or you want to give someone a very special gift. And they ship worldwide.
Thank you, Cosplay Bear. You and Cosplay-FTW have made this the best holiday.
End of ad.